Imagine a sea. Imagine a mountain reflected in the sea. Imagine a city at the foot of the mountain on the Montenegrin coast at the entrance of one of the most beautiful bays in the world, Boka Kotorska. Imagine the sun shining over the city for more than 200 days every year, with palm trees, mimosas, magnolias, eucalyptuses and agavas growing there. Think of the cobbled narrow streets and stairs with the Mediterranean stone houses, walls and fortresses, hidden squares. Think of the ideal city you would wish to spend summer in. Welcome to the city that you miss. The story of the city started about several thousands of years ago, the evidence of which are the archaeological findings from Luštica Peninsula. The first people known to have lived here were the Illyrians, who were succeeded by the Romans and the Byzantines. It was in the 7th century when the Slavic tribes settled in this area. The city itself was founded in 1382 by the Bosnian king Tvrtko Kotromanić I, who fortified it in Dračevica parish at Topla and named it Sveti Stefan. Since then, the name has been changed several times, and the name it has today, Herceg-Novi, it got during the rule of Duke Stjepan Vukšić Kosača. This was also the period of great growth and prosperity of the city, and along with the neighboring Dubrovnik, it soon became a very important economic and cultural center on the coast. Over the centuries there have been a lot of fights for the rule over Herceg-Novi, so the keys of the city gates went in and out of the hands of different conquerors: the Turks, Spaniards, Venetians, Austrians, Russians, French and many others. Each of them have brought their own customs, culture and art and incorporated them deeply into the history of the city. This is why Herceg-Novi owes its unique appeal to its famous fortresses, the remains of which still overlook the city. Španjola, the construction of which started in the period of Turkish rule in the 15th century, was named after the Spaniards who renewed it. Situated on the hill called Bajer, the fortress gives a spectacular view of the city. One of the most beautiful summer stages on the Adriatic coast, Calicula, dates from the 16th century. Today it is the site for concerts, festivals and film shows. It used to be a prison and its name originates from that time. In Turkish, Calicula means bloody tower. The clock tower was also built in the 16th century, and during the Turks it was used at the entrance in the city or the main city gate. The old clock is at the top of the tower, while the famous sculpture of the Mother of God is placed in the tower's passage. The sculpture is made of charred wood, and it is called the Black Goddess Mother, representing the token of remembrance for the city founder, Tvrtko Kotromanić I. Citadella Fortress was built during the Venetian rule. It was situated just by the sea and connected to the southern part of the town by fortifying walls. The oldest fortress of all, Forte Mare, was under construction between the 14th and the 17th century. With the city promenade just below, it was adapted and turned into an outdoor cinema during the 1950s, while today there is also a very popular nightclub. The four main fortresses that used to define the borders of the city area now only serve as the reminders of its exciting history. Herceg-Novi evolved into one of the biggest and most beautiful cities in Boka Bay, while its Riviera includes the city outskirts, the small villages in the mountains and the beauty spots along the coast from Kamenari to Njivice. Today, Herceg-Novi is the administrative, economic and cultural center of the district, with a population of almost 40,000. The architecture of Herceg-Novi represents an unusual mixture of Romanesque, Byzantine and Oriental style, finely tuned in the Mediterranean looks of the city. The civilizations and nations confronted and intertwined throughout the history left significant marks that made the city a real treasury of different cultures and traditions. The most evident signs of its rich past are the monuments at almost every step in the city. The greatest number of them are churches. There are 89 in Herceg-Novi area. The monastery complex Savina, situated in the green serenity of a small hill at the east of the town, is a beautiful Baroque edifice famous on the entire Adriatic coast. It consists of the two churches of Our Lady's Rise, the Church of Saint Sava and the monastery quarters with the famous treasury. The Church of St. Archangel Michael is also well known, situated in the center of Duke Stephen's Square in the upper part of the old town, formerly called Bella Vista. The church was built in the period at the end of the 19th and the beginning of 20th century, showing the mixture of Byzantine Romanesque and Gothic style with some elements of Oriental architecture. In the part of the city between Herceg-Novi and Igalo called Topla, there is the Church of St. George, built in the period of Venetian rule and known for its extraordinary circular icon of St. Peter and St. Paul, dating from 17th century. Right next to this one there is the Church of Holy Salvation, with the presents of great value which were given to the church by the important people of this period. Many poets have composed verses about Herceg-Novi, and numerous stories have been written and told about it. The artists have painted it on their canvases over the centuries, and many famous people from our history have lived in the city. Some of them are Petar Petrović Njegoš, Ivo Andrić, Simo Matavulj, Bishop Nikolaj Velimirović, Zuko Džumhur, Mihajlo Lalić, Branko Ćopić, and many others. The Nobel Prize winner Ivo Andrić described Herceg-Novi as the city of everlasting sunshine, vegetation and stairs. Except for its illustrious history, the city also owes its appeal to the mild Mediterranean climate with over 200 sunny days per year, as well as to its interesting position between Orion Mountain and the beautiful bay of Boka Kotorska. Orion is 1,895 meters high, and it is the highest mountain on the Adriatic coast. It is famous for its endemic herbal species, walking and recreation tracks, as well as skiing season, which lasts until late spring. In Herceg-Novi itself there are several hundreds of herbal species from all over the world. Over the centuries, the sailors have been bringing different plants and seeds from their journeys, so today the city is adorned with extremely rare sorts of flowers and other decorative vegetation. The park of the former Boka Hotel, formed at the beginning of the 20th century, represents a real botanical garden in the city center. In this unique oasis of green, there are over 80 species originating from tropical and subtropical regions. Both the coast of Herceg-Novi and its outskirts are rich in animal species, while the deep sea of the bay with its various inhabitants is paradise for scuba divers and fishermen. When you stop by in Herceg-Novi, don't forget to visit some of the traditional city restaurants, where beside the seafood you can have the specialties of this region: smoked ham, cheese and olives, while the savory Montenegrin wine sorts and the famous grape brandy, served as an appetizer, are especially pleasing to the palate. The inns that existed at the end of the 19th century in Herceg-Novi are considered to mark the beginning of tourism here. The inn called Šojra Rose and Bella Vista Cafe are even mentioned in the old records. However, the pioneer facility of modern hotel industry on the Montenegrin coast is thought to be the pension on the Green Beach in Zelenica, later called Zelenica Beach Hotel, built in 1902. In 1929, the district of Herceg-Novi was proclaimed to be a seaside and health resort, and the remedial powers of the mineral water and clay from Igalo had long been known. It was around this time when the salt from the sea bottom near the coast was examined in the laboratories of the famous French Vichy Spa, which finally certified its healing properties. In 1949, the health resort facility was officially founded in Igalo, and today it still successfully provides the services of modern health tourism. Nowadays, Herceg-Novi offers a great variety of tourist services, and visitors can choose between many hotels, motels, luxury villas, apartments, studios and private accommodation rooms. Swimming season is 5 months long, and the warm sea water and the coastline with beautiful beaches is what makes Herceg-Novi Riviera one of the favorite tourist destinations. Just to discover the beaches of Herceg-Novi is an adventure, starting from Njivice, where the famous Queen's Beach is, and all the way to the hidden coves at Luštica Peninsula. You can visit about 70 cultivated beaches. There are rocky beaches and sand beaches with bars and cafes on most of them. Some are near and some are far away, but even that is not a problem, especially for young people. The easiest way to get to the most popular beauty spots, Mirište, Žanjice and Dobrač, is by small boats. The 3 coves at Luštica are known for the pleasant atmosphere in the olive groves. The splendid beaches are situated near the Cape of Arza and its fortress, which was built by the Romans for the purpose of controlling the bay entrance. Opposite Mirište, there is an islet with a small monastery and renowned medieval church. Not very far away from here you can see the famous Blue Cave, named after the unique and unusual blue color of seawater inside it. Another attractive site is the island of Mamula at the very entrance into Boka Bay. It was named after the Austrian general Lazar Mamula, who fortified it in the middle of the 19th century. During both world wars it served as a prison, and today the island is unpopulated. Opposite Herceg Novi, on the northwest coast of Luštica, there is a nice little seaside village named Rose, which was built upon the remains of the ancient Greek settlement called Porto Ros. The outskirts of Herceg Novi, with its picturesque little villages, are also known by olives, olive oil, smoked ham, oiled cheese, and homemade wine and brandy. Together with a great variety of sites on Herceg Novi Riviera, a number of cultural events taking place all year long have also helped the city to become one of the favorite tourist destinations. As in every other Mediterranean city, there are a lot of bars and restaurants in Herceg Novi. They are mostly located out of doors along the paved Danica promenade. The events Herceg Novi is widely recognized by are the Mimosa Festival, the Fishing Festival, and the prestigious manifestation Herceg Novi Winter Art Show. There are also Herceg Novi April Theatre Festival, the Children's Festival of Music, the International Children's Masquerade, the music festivals Sunčane Skale and the Days of Music, the book market called Book Square, Herceg Novi Film Festival, Guitar Art Summer Festival, and many others. One thing is certain, whenever you come in this city, you will have a great time. Maybe the nicest way to finish the story of Herceg Novi is to say the verses of Dušan Kostić. Whoever came near Herceg Novi left with a blinded soul. It was the inspiration for poets, for others the unforgettable encounter. But the truth is that the more often you come in Herceg Novi, the more closely and deeply you feel it.